Welcome back to the AHA method. Today, one quiet man beats 3 games nobody is supposed to beat: a casino, the stock market, and a billion-dollar fraud, all with the same piece of mathematics. Before we start, if this is your kind of story, tap like, drop a comment with your favorite AHA moment, and subscribe so you never miss one. It genuinely helps the channel. A pit boss is watching one player far too closely. He's not counting cards with a hidden device. He's not cheating at all. He's just winning. Too often, too calmly. Casinos always win in the end. That's not an opinion. It's arithmetic. The house edge is built into every single rule. So how is this one man quietly taking their money, night after night? He isn't cheating either. Counting cards breaks no law. Casinos just don't have to let you keep playing. This is Edward Thorp. He's about to do this same trick 3 times. To a casino, to Wall Street, and to Bernie Madoff, 17 years early. Thorp finished a math PhD at UCLA in 1958. Bored one evening, he reads a 1956 academic paper on Blackjack. 4 researchers, Baldwin, Canty, Maisel, and McDermott, later nicknamed the 4 Horsemen, had worked out basic strategy, the best fixed play for any hand you're dealt. Their conclusion: even playing perfectly, the house edge cannot be beaten. Case closed, they said. Here's the irony. Their own math was correct. It's their assumption that was too narrow. They treated every hand as independent, like a fresh deck each time. Thorp doesn't quite believe that assumption. He gets in touch, and the 4 researchers hand him their raw data. Here's the piece basic strategy missed. A deck of cards is not the same deck after every hand. It changes. Deal out cards, and the deck that's left behind is a different deck, with different odds baked in. If small cards keep disappearing, what's left is richer in 10s and aces, and that shift genuinely favors the player. More blackjacks for you. The dealer, forced to keep hitting on stiff hands, busts more often. The deck, in a very real mathematical sense, remembers what's already been dealt. Thorp ran the numbers on MIT's IBM 704, and built a real system out of this, the 10 count. Track the ratio of small cards to 10 still in the deck. When that ratio turns in your favor, bet bigger. When it doesn't, bet small. In January 1961, he presents the result to actual mathematicians at the American Mathematical Society. Blackjack has a hole in it. The room's reaction is skepticism, then real interest. A supposedly closed math problem was quietly still open. Around the same time, Claude Shannon, the founder of information theory itself, shows him a different paper from 1956 by John Kelly. Kelly had solved a quieter problem. Knowing you have an edge is not the same as knowing how much to bet on it. Bet too little and you waste a real edge. Bet too much and one bad streak wipes you out completely. The Kelly criterion sizes every bet in proportion to the edge itself. Bigger edge, bigger bet, but never, ever all in. Counting tells Thorp when he has an edge. Kelly tells him how much to risk on it. Both matter. Neither works alone. Blackjack wasn't the only game Thorp and Shannon looked at. Around 1960, they build something stranger. A hidden wearable computer to predict roulette. A toe switch, hidden in a shoe, times the ball and the spinning wheel. The device quietly calculates which section is likeliest to win. Pure Newtonian mechanics, and hums the answer through a hidden earpiece. In August of 1961, they test it with real money on the Vegas floor. It works. A predicted edge of about 44% on the best bet, confirmed live. Then a wire comes loose, and the fear of getting caught outweighs the winnings. They shut it down and never scale it up. In 1962, he publishes both ideas for a general audience in a book called Beat the Dealer. It lands on the New York Times bestseller list and eventually sells over 700,000 copies. For the first time, an entire industry is reading a mathematically proven way to beat one of its own games. Casinos respond by changing the game itself. Single decks give way to multi-deck shoes. More cards in play, harder to track. Dealers reshuffle far more often, wiping out the deck's memory before a counter can act on it. Some casinos even try cutting the blackjack payout itself, until customers who like the old odds simply walk away, and it gets quietly reversed. Thorp also tells a stranger story. An unrequested coffee on a winning night, sudden disorientation, and, days later, a car whose accelerators seemed to stick on a mountain road. It's a genuinely unsettling account. It's also, by his own admission, entirely his own account. No casino, police report, or witness has ever confirmed it. With Blackjack's edge shrinking under new rules, Thorp asks the obvious next question. Is Wall Street mispriced the same way? With economist Sheen Kassouf, he studies convertible warrants, contracts whose price should track their underlying stock, but often doesn't, exactly. Their 1967 book, Beat the Market, lays out a hedge, hold the stock, and the mispriced warrant in opposite positions, so you profit from the gap, almost regardless of which way the market moves. It's the same underlying move as blackjack. Find where the stated price and the real odds disagree, then bet on the gap, not on a direction. Warrants were genuinely hard to value in the 1960s. There was no widely accepted formula yet for pricing an option on a stock's future, uncertain price. In 1973, Fisher Black, Myron Scholes, and Robert Merton formalize option pricing into the equation that still runs modern derivatives markets today. Thorp says he'd already derived an equivalent formula around 1967 and used it quietly to trade, rather than publish it and hand away the edge. That specific claim rests on his own later account, with no independent 1967 paper to check it against. His documented precursor role with Kassouf is real either way. Whoever truly got there first, the stakes of the formula itself were enormous. It's the equation that let options markets explode into the trillions of dollars they move today. In 1969, Thorp and J. Regan found what's now considered one of the first true quantitative hedge funds, Princeton Newport Partners. Their approach was market neutral, statistical and convertible bond arbitrage designed to profit whether stocks went up or down that year. Concretely, a convertible bond can be mispriced relative to the stock it converts into. Buy the cheap side, short the expensive side, and the specific mispricing pays off almost regardless of which way the whole market moves. Then, in December of 1987, federal marshals raid the Princeton office before dawn, part of the sprawling RICO investigation into Michael Milken and Drexel Burnham Lambert. The case centers on Thorp's partners' separate dealings, not Thorp's own trading, but the damage to the fund is already done. 6 principals are convicted in 1989. The convictions are overturned on appeal in 1991. But by then, legal costs have already forced the fund to close. That same year, 1991, a pension fund asks Thorp for one more favor. Take a look at their investment with a fund manager named Bernie Madoff. Something is off immediately. The returns are smooth in a way real markets never are. No losing months, not even when the broader market drops. Thorp checks the paperwork against real exchange records. On April 16, 1991, Madoff's account claims 123 Procter and Gamble call option trades. Exchange-wide records show only about 20 of those contracts traded that entire day. You cannot execute more trades than physically existed. Thorp tells the client to pull their money out. He does not alert regulators. This is a private warning, not a public one. Bernie Madoff's fraud isn't exposed to the world until 2008. Thorp had already caught it, quietly, 17 years earlier. The whistleblower most people credit, Harry Markopoulos, doesn't file his first formal warning to regulators until the year 2000. Thorp beat even him to it by about a decade. A casino game, a stock market hedge, a fund manager's paperwork. 3 completely different tables, and 1 identical method. Find where the stated odds and the real odds disagree. Size the bet to match the edge. Don't blink when you're right. Notice the roulette computer isn't on this list. Not every edge is worth keeping. The same discipline that sizes a bet also knows when to walk away from one. Thorp wasn't the only person to treat a supposedly unbeatable system as just another math problem. Next time in this series, a man who used the exact same logic to legally win the lottery 14 separate times.